The cutest little Xiao Lingding is here. The handsome big dad and the pretty little dad couldn't be happier. The little dad looked at the sweet baby in his arms. This feels like magic. Today the baby snoozed quietly in his arms. Feeling those chubby little hands, the little dad got all emotional. My little baby is just too cute. The baby looks like a carbon copy of Dad Qinghao. But Xiao Lingding is the spitting image of the little dad. Same hair and eyes, plus those fluttery long lashes. Totally a pint-sized yelling. Only the big dad who spoils his husband will nod yes against his better judgment. The only thing that bugs him ever since the baby showed up. His husband only has eyes for the baby, and barely even looks at him. Qinghao actually got jealous of his own son. He even handed Xiao Lingding straight to the nurse, deciding he had to sit down and talk to his precious husband. But Qinghao, all swagger, only passed Yiling a glass of water and eyes full of tenderness, said, "You've worked hard. Thanks for letting me meet you." Yiling rushed over with Xiao Lingding to cheer for the big dad. Qinghao lived up to the hype and took gold. He came out of the pool and hurried to his family, scooping up both of them. Yiling happily congratulated his husband on the gold. Xiao Lingding looked totally confused, not knowing what was going on. Behind them came the click of cameras. Everyone was eating up their PDA, and Yaling felt a bit embarrassed. Luckily, Yuzhan stepped in and rescued the family of 3. He even got Xiao Lingding some tasty pudding. Yuzhen is such an angel. While Yiling was feeding Xiao Lingding, he whispered to Qinghao that he'd babysit and text them if anything came up. So the two of you go do whatever. Then he gently carried Xiao Lingding away. Qinghao seized the moment, pulled out a ring, and had Yiling slip it on again. Sweet domestic life officially began. As a new dad, Qinghao doted on his husband non-stop and took care of Xiao Lingding with champion level speed. Xiao Lingding keeps crying whenever Yiling shows up, for no clear reason. So Qinghao turned into a super dad, juggling training and childcare. He mixes formula in minutes. His teammates stared, stunned, as Xiao Lingding ate quietly in dad's arms. Those moves were so smooth. Youxiang worried that Yaling looked drained. Qinghao explained it might be because Yiling had been hospitalized. Now Xiao Lingding burst into tears the moment the little dad touches her, and the baby hasn't cried like this since birth. Qinghao was baffled as Xiao Lingding is gentle and never shy with strangers, yet he reacts like this to the little dad who loves him most. Yuzhen comforted him, he's just a kid, give it a few days. Qinghao burped to Xiao Lingding after the meal and gently coached him, don't make the little dad sad, okay? Xiao Shuedi never cried or fussed, but lately something's off, and the moment Xiao Yaling touches the baby he wails. Yiling has been down in the dumps every day. That day the nanny set the freshly awake Xiao Shuedi into the baby seat. Yiling couldn't help himself and went to feed Xiao Shuedi. Yaling was thrilled. At least he could feed formula this way. It hurt, but he could handle it. Xiao Shuedi was still the cutest baby in the world. Maybe if I get a little closer, it'll be like before. But Xiao Shuedi screamed so loud that Yiling dropped the bottle. The nanny rushed over to a broken bottle, an injured Yaling, and a non-stop crying Xiao Shuedi. When Qinghao got home, he was heartsick and carefully bandaged his husband. Yiling comforted Qinghao instead. Fine. Thank God Xiao Shuedi wasn't hurt. Qinghao pulled him into his arms and said full of pity, stop reading other people's moods. This isn't on you. Xiao Shuedi could finally take formula from Xiao Yiling, and Yiling was over the moon. He thought he and Xiao Shuedi had made up, but the next second, the baby cried, the bottle shattered, and he got hurt. Good thing the nanny came to help. After work, Qinghao bandaged Yiling. Yiling, guilty, blamed himself for not taking good care of the baby. Qinghao was so heartbroken he gave Yiling a big hug. Taking care of Shuedi is tough. From now on, we'll do it together. Half asleep, Qinghao was jolted awake by the alarm. He reached to the side, instantly wide awake. Where'd my husband go again? A bottle appeared in front of him. Yaling had gotten up early to prep food for Xiao Shuidi. Qinghao finally relaxed. The Qinghao cradled the soft little Xiao Shuidi and fed him. Xiao Yiling watched longingly as the little guy ate. He couldn't help but gush. Our Shuidi eats so well. He'll grow up in no time. 什么情况啊? Qing sighed and gave his husband a comforting kiss, only to get a teary-eyed Yiling in return. He was baffled. What was that about? 什么情况啊? Yiling covered his face and sobbed softly. I really want to kiss Xiao Shuidi. He's so cute and I can't even touch him. I'm so jealous of Qinghao. Qinghao also brooded over how his son had stolen all the attention, but kept racking his brain on how to fix things between father and child, until he found a win-win. Lately, Qinghao's been frustrated his husband gives all his attention to Xiao Shuidi, and Xiao Shuidi won't let Yiling touch him. Seeing his husband, that anxious tears him up. Yaling grew up without family. Having one is what he's always dreamed of, and whenever family comes up, he looks like he's lost his soul. But Xiao Shuidi still won't let Yiling hold him, so Qinghao decided that when Yiling went to the hospital, he'd personally take care of Xiao Shuidi and talk to the little cutie, so father and son could make up soon. After seeing the doctor, Yiling called his husband. Qinghao told him to come over and check on the baby. When Yiling got to the training center, Xiao Shuidi was in the arms of a Xiao O, and seeing his idol Yiling, he blurted, Senior Qinghao had something come up and asked me to watch him. As they chatted, Xiao Shuidi slowly opened his eyes. The moment Xiao O tried to pass him to Yiling, the gym filled with his deafening cries. Fresh from sleep, Xiao Shuidi saw Yiling and started wailing, and Yiling felt like his brain just fried. Now the baby cries even if he doesn't touch him. Xiao O was even more spooked and hurriedly handed Xiao Shuidi to Yiling, which made Xiao Shuidi kick and thrash, crying even harder. Yiling could barely hold him. He lost his footing and was about to tumble down the stairs. Yiling only thought about shielding Xiao Shuidi from the fall, when a strong arm grabbed him. Qinghao had rushed in just in time. He saved the father and son from tumbling down the stairs, but strained his arm from the effort. He still told Yiling, it's okay, I'll hop into the infirmary and get it checked. Yiling stood there, panicked and guilt-ridden. We lost our Gumi Yiling again. Qinghao had wanted to mend things between Xiao Shuidi and Yiling, but even getting honorably injured didn't do the trick. Back home, Yiling said he wanted to go out for a walk. Qinghao couldn't stop him and had to take Xiao Shuidi home alone. By midnight, Yiling still wasn't back. No calls, no texts. Qinghao couldn't sit still. What if he runs off again like before, blaming himself? He had to go search to calm down. But as he stood up, he felt a tug. He looked down, a tiny hand gripped his shirt. Xiao Shuidi plopped onto his butt. Hard-looking Qinghao scooped the crying Yao Shuidi into his arms, murmuring, "I'm sorry," over and over. Xiao Shuidi had toppled because of Qinghao and Will, but even that couldn't stop Qinghao from heading out to find his husband. Qinghao gently patted the sobbing Xiao Shuidi. While scanning around for any sign of Yiling, suddenly, Yiling called out from behind. He turned and saw Yiling lugging bags. Yiling was stunned. Why were father and son out so late? He dropped the bags and hugged them both tight. "Sorry, it's hard watching the baby alone. I'll be a better dad. Everything will get better." Qinghao suddenly felt his husband had changed, no longer running, willing to face things head on. The once wailing Xiao Shuidi stopped crying too. The baby fixed those big dewy eyes on Qing, as if saying, "Dad, let's do this together." They finally found why Xiao Shuidi cried whenever Yiling touched. Turns out Qinghao kept fearing Yiling would run away, and that anxiety rubbed off on Xiao Shuidi, so the baby rejected Yiling's touch. Yiling was gone all day because he was out hunting for baby gear. He bought tons of gadgets so he could hold the little one without direct contact. He even found a magical big mouth bear plush. He used it to hold the bottle instead of Yiling's hand, and Xiao Shuidi started eating calm as can be. In the end, he fell asleep in Yiling's arms. Yiling happily showed off to Qinghao, "I can take care of the baby again. Go train with peace of mind." Looking at his husband and son, Qinghao finally relaxed. "My Yiling won't leave me again." The adorable Xiao Shuidi made up with Dad Yiling. Now he let Yiling hold him and feed him. He watched the dad's happy smiles. Xiao Shuidi even reached out to Yiling. Yiling teared up. "Move it, Daddy's back." Ever since they made up, Xiao Shuidi's been extra sweet and clingy, even showing off by practicing crawling in front of Dad. Yiling rushed to brag to Qinghao. He rolled over a few times and already tried crawling. At this rate, he'll be walking soon. After a full day of action, Xiao Shuidi finally ran out of battery, and after a full belly, drifted off fast. Back in the room, Yiling found Qinghao asleep too. Since training and rushing home every day had worn him out. But why was there an Omega next to Qinghao? Yiling felt his little jealousy jar tip over. Qinghao could now get along calmly with Omegas, and even had their scent on him. The more Yiling thought, the sadder he got. Sleeping Qinghao opened his eyes and pulled him close. "Were you sniffing pheromones just now?" Yiling was confused. "Wasn't he asleep?" Qinghao said, "If you like my pheromones, I'll give you more." After making sure it wouldn't affect Qinghao's meat, Yiling shy asked Qinghao to mark him. The next second, Qinghao froze. He set Yiling aside and said, "Go to sleep." Yiling was even more confused. Was he dodging me? What was that reaction? Before Yiling could process it, Qinghao was out again. Overthinking, Yiling's heat arrived early the next day. Feverish and groggy, he spiraled even more. Why did Qinghao refuse to mark me? Will he still keep our promise? Yiling burned up at home, out of it. Qinghao came home from work carrying another Omega scent. Even the mild, well-behaved Yiling has a temper. He kicked Qinghao out and curled up under the covers to sulk. Patiently, Qinghao explained it was a Xiao visiting the pool, who slipped into the water. I only pulled him out. Yiling popped out from under the blanket, and Sor asked, "Really nothing happened?" Our first meeting was also Qinghao saving me when I fell in during heat. It's just that Qinghao can now interact normally with other Omegas, and I feel weird. I want it to be just us. Qinghao was delighted. "Are you jealous?" "I'm all yours. What are you worried about?" The dad's feelings warmed. Xiao Shuidi's temperature did too, and our Xiao Shuidi got sick for the first time. But Qinghao couldn't stay home. He had a meet. Yiling promised he'd take good care of the baby, and told Qinghao not to worry, focus, and good luck. He looked at the feverish, whimpering Xiao Shuidi. When Yiling's heart ached, he kept wiping his nose and easing the congestion. After a busy morning, the temperature finally dropped to 99.5 breath effort. Yiling finally breathed easy. Hope Xiao Shuidi keeps fighting. While the baby slept, Yiling sanitized the place. Xiao Shuidi seemed to sense Dad leaving. He opened his eyes wide and searched for Yiling. Locking onto him, he made a decision. He used all his strength to roll over, but had no strength left to crawl. He could only whimper and cry. Hearing the cry, Yiling rushed over. He picked up Xiao Shuidi and "Daddy's right here." Xiao Shuidi's super clingy today. Our adorable Xiao Shuidi got sick. Yiling's a rookie dad with zero experience. He thought the fever had pretty much passed. After a nap, he found Xiao Shuidi burning up like a little furnace. His temp was over 1. It scared Yiling half to death. He grabbed Xiao Shuidi and sprinted to the ER. After checking him, the doctor advised, if a feverish baby is shivering and you pile on heavy blankets, the fever can spike and trigger febrile seizures. Warm up the room and use a light blanket, and keep him hydrated. Yiling felt awful and blamed himself. He thought he wasn't a good dad. He promised Qinghao he'd take good care of their kids, yet he ended up rushing him to the hospital. Beside him, Xiao Shuidi sensed Yiling's guilt, stuck out his little butt, and tried to crawl up, then gave Yiling a kiss to comfort him. Xiao Shuidi is his dad's little lifesaver. Even with a fever, he still comforted his guilty dad. He wiggled his little butt and crawled to Yiling, then reached out and touched Dad's face. He kissed Dad to reassure him. Yiling was shocked and overjoyed, tears pouring out. He hugged his little one tight. "I'll do my best." Qinghao rushed home after work. He walked in on father and son napping. He couldn't stop smiling. Xiao Shuidi's the crowd favorite wherever he goes. Even at a camping event, people swarmed around him. Yeling took him to watch the little fish and got splashed in the face. Qinghao can joke around with teammates now. Xiao Shuidi was watching fish with Yeling. When an Omega came by with drinks, they said it's an honor to watch Senior Qinghao train up close now. Everyone says it's thanks to Yeling that Senior Qinghao opened up and stopped fearing Omegas. On the trip, Xiao Shuidi turned into a little chatterbox. He babbled nonstop. Coach asked, does he say, dead now? Yeling explained it's probably because every day, Qinghao calls his name so he copied it. Coach marveled that Xiao Shudi's a little genius, and found it funny. You two are married and still call each other by name. Married folks should say, hubby, or honey. Yeling's face went bright red. He'd only said that in a dream once. Then Qinghao leaned in and said, honey. Qinghao called Yeling honey. Then, wifey. First time hearing it, Yeling almost combusted. Big thanks to the pretty coach for that. She kept teasing, why use names if you're married? Couples should say, honey, or hubby. Slightly buzzed, Qinghao went, honey. Yeling was over the moon. They tucked sleeping Xiao Shuidi into the tent. Just as Yeling wanted to savor that word, Qinghao hugged him and asked her, do you like the getaway I planned? I hope your comeback goes smoothly. Being called that nearly knocked Yeling so loose. They agreed wifey was a bit awkward this time. Yeling saw, then called out, Qinghao. That sent Qinghao into a frenzy. They forgot people were milling outside the tent. The pretty coach suddenly yelled for Qinghao to grab fruit. Right before they got caught, Yu Zhen swooped in again. Sleeping Xiao Shuidi was handed off by Qinghao. Reason Qinghao's rut kicked in early after the trip, so they called in Yu Zhen again. Worried, Qinghao handed over a teddy and said, Xiao Shuidi's super clingy to Yeling right now. If he can't see him, he cries nonstop. Take the teddy, it'll help. Turns out, with Yu Zhen, he had a great time and was all smiles. Yu Zhen felt Qinghao's worry was overkill. No way a cutie like this cries nonstop. He even brought out the teddy. Xiao Shuidi saw his buddy and started snuggling. He loves that bear. Watching him chow down melted Yu Zhen completely. He joked that Xiao Shuidi should live with him from now on. Their fun got cut short by a guy in a helmet. Yu Zhen jumped, then forced a smile and asked, can I help you? The guy pointed at Yu Zhen and said, your strong sense freaking people out. Yu Zhen took Xiao Shuidi out to play. After bumping into a helmet guy, he left Xiao Shuidi to the side. It started when the helmet guy warned Yu Zhen about his heavy scent. Yu Zhen explained it wasn't his, he picked it up from, carrying Xiao Shuidi who smelled like Yeling. The helmet guy sniffed around, trying to help, confirmed it was Yeling's scent, then put his helmet back on. Yu Zhen asked, in this heat, wouldn't it be better to take it off? Isn't the guy said it's just easier this way. Unattended, Xiao Shuidi got drawn to a little dog. He followed it with his eyes. Suddenly the owner looked familiar. That silhouette looked like Yeling. Xiao Shuidi's eyes went wide. He remembered his Yeling died. Next second, he burst into tears. He missed Yeling and cried hard. It rattled chatty Yu Zhen. He remembered Qinghao's teddy. But the teddy was missing. He figured he left it back at the amusement area, so he straight up left Xiao Shuidi there and sprinted back to find the teddy. No lie, Yu Zhen's got some nerve. Good thing the helmet guy is a friend of Yeling. Xiao Shuidi's chubby little cheeks. As night fell, a big lug held the sobbing little cutie, waiting and waiting, until Yu Zhen ran back, out of breath. He quickly handed over the teddy. Red-eyed, Xiao Shuidi looked at Yu Zhen, took his teddy buddy, and stopped crying. Xiao Shuidi's at the zoom around age. The walker can barely contain him. He's so cute that Yeling wants to be with him every day. His comeback plans stalled. He planned to stay home one more month. Yihao felt Yeling doted on Xiao Shuidi a bit too much. He needed a real talk with his husband. I'm worried. He's too attached to you. He's got me too, so you can focus on your comeback. I've always got your back. You and Xiao Shuidi are my reason to live. The next day, Yeling pulled out his gear. He looked at his beloved skates and couldn't hold back his eager heart. Lost in his graceful moves, Yeling didn't notice. The little cutie watching, totally absorbed. He heard the walker rattling. He turned and saw Xiao Shuidi copying him, spinning in place. Yeling was floored by the cuteness. Xiao Shuidi clearly inherited dad's great genes. Even in the walker, he could mimic Yeling's moves spinning in place. Yeling was thrilled. Our Xiao Shuidi is awesome. Such talent for someone so little. He'll be amazing when he grows up. Whatever Xiao Shuidi wants to do, Yeling will back him unconditionally. When Qinghao got home, Yeling couldn't wait to let. Qinghao, thrilled, didn't hesitate. He took the two of them out to eat. Watching Qinghao care for Xiao Shuidi, Yeling smiled, bursting with joy. On the way back, Yeling saw kids with cotton and looked envious. With Yeling and Xiao Shuidi in his life, the old cold Qinghao became a different man. He poured all his warmth and care into his two loves. Yeling felt like the world's luckiest, happiest person. Xiao Shuidi joined the variety show together. They filmed him from the moment he woke up. Our well-behaved Xiao Shuidi turned into a variety show pro. His first little steps got captured on camera. His cuteness melted the crew. They sighed so cute and said, if only we could catch a giggle. Yiling thought he hadn't really seen Xiao Shuidi laugh out loud when Yu Zhen came by to see him. Qing Hao even asked if he'd ever seen a giggle. Yu Zhen thought back to the Xiao Shuidi he remembered, but that focused little old man vibe, the way he jokes. Him playing with soap bubbles, being hoisted overhead by Dad Qing Hao. The flying, high game, none got a giggle. But does it matter? If our little droplet likes it, we do it. If not, we don't. He's everyone's sunshine. Magic Hao Shuidi grabbed both Dad's hands and strolled apart. When he got tired, he reached out for Yiling to pick him up. Even nearby dogs were drawn to his cuteness. Being a fluffy white ball, memories flooded Yiling. Because of a little white fluff ball, he once mistook a clump of fur for a puppy. He jumped into a lake to save it, and almost drowned. Qing Hao pulled him out just in time, and that led to our adorable Xiao Shuidi. Yiling felt he was so lucky back then. He met Qing Hao and they had Xiao Shuidi. Now he feels truly happy. Sensing their joy, Xiao Shuidi reached out and touched their cheeks, then flashed a charming smile. With that bell, like giggle hit both dads right in the heart. Yiling was totally melted. 1 + 1 = 3 began when me became yours. Xiao Shuidi didn't recognize Dad Qing Hao. He stared for a minute, then gave Dad a big little present. It started when Qing Hao trained out of town for days, came home early, eager to see his family. Yiling was thrilled, of course. A week apart, he missed him badly. Suddenly, a noise. Xiao Shuidi crawled out. He stared at Qing Hao with big cute eyes, thinking, who is this guy? Looks familiar. Yiling told him to say hi to Dad Qing Hao. A chubby hand reached for Qing Hao. Qing Hao leaned in, delighted. Next second, a yell. It's okay, it's okay. Just a tiny present. Sleeping Xiao Shuidi was handed off by Qing Hao. Reason his rut hit early after the trip. So, they called in Yu Shen. Again, worried, Qing Hao handed over a teddy and reminded Xiao Shuidi super clingy to Yiling right now. If he can't see him, he cries nonstop. Take the teddy, it'll help. Turns out, with Yu Zhen, well, he had a great time and was happy. Yu Zhen thought Qing Hao worried too much. A cutie like this crying nonstop. No way. He even brought out the teddy. Xiao Shuidi saw his buddy and started snuggling. He loves that bear. Watching him eat melted Yu Zhen. He joked that Xiao Shuidi should live with him. Their fun got interrupted by a helmet guy. Yu Zhen was startled, but then forced a smile. Do you need something? The guy pointed at Yu Zhen and said, your strong sense freaking people out. Xiao Shuidi was watching fish with yelling. And someone said it's an honor to watch Senior Qing Hao train up close now. Everyone says it's thanks to Yiling. On the trip, Xiao Shuidi turned into a non-stop babbler. Coach wondered if he says dad now. So Yiling explained it's probably because Qing Hao calls his name. So he coach said he's a little genius and found it funny. Married guy should say hubby or honey. Yiling's face went bright red. He'd only said that in a dream once. Tipsy leaned in and said, honey. Qing Hao called Yiling honey first, then called her wife for the first time. Yiling almost floated away. All thanks to the gorgeous instructor who kept asking Qing Hao why he just calls her by name when they're married. Between couples, you should say honey or hubby. Tipsy Qing Hao actually called out honey right there, making Yiling totally blissful. They tucked sleepy little Shuidi into the tent and got him settled. Just as he was about to savor that sweet moment, Qing Hao suddenly hugged him and asked, do you like this camping trip I planned? I hope everything goes smoothly when you get back. Did I do good, wifey? Yiling was totally swooning from being called that. Both agreed that wifey felt kinda awkward this time. Yiling thought for a second and called him babe. That drove Qing Hao absolutely wild. Never mind people walking by outside the tent. Suddenly the gorgeous instructor called him over for some food. Right when they almost got caught, adorable Yu Zhang came to the rescue again. Uncle Yu Zhen took little Shuidi out to play. After running into a guy with a helmet, he left little Shuidi behind. Helmet guy reminded Yu Zhen he had a strong scent on him. Yu Zhen explained he didn't. It was Yiling's scent from picking up little Shuidi. The helpful helmet guy sniffed around. After confirming it was Yiling's scent, he put his helmet back on. Yu Zhen was curious on such a hot day, why not take it off? Isn't it stuffy? The guy said it's more convenient this way. Little Shuidi left unattended, got drawn to a little white dog. His eyes followed where the little white dog went. Suddenly the dog's owner looked familiar. That silhouette looks like Yiling. Little Shuidi's eyes went wide with shock. He finally remembered his Papa Yiling. Next second, he started bawling his eyes out. Little Shuidi cried so hard missing Papa Yiling. It totally freaked out Yu Zhen who was chatting. He remembered the teddy bear Qing Hao told him about. But at the crucial moment the bear was gone. Yu Zhen figured it must have been left at the playground. So he just up and left little Shuidi there. He sprinted back to find the teddy bear himself. Gotta say Yu Zhen's got some serious guts doing that. Luckily helmet guy is Yiling's good friend. He couldn't help taking off his glove to touch little Shuidi's chubby little cheeks. When night fell, some guy was holding a crying little catty, waiting and waiting there. Finally Yu Zhang came running back, totally out of breath. He quickly pulled out the magic teddy and held it up to little Shuidi. Uncle found your bear. He said he really missed our little Shuidi. Little Shuidi stared at Yu Zhang with swollen red eyes. After taking his good friend Teddy, he really stopped crying. Little Shuidi had reached the age where he could toddle around fast. The walker was about to lose control of him. The little cutie was so adorable, Yiling wanted to stay with him every day. Even his comeback plan got shelved. He was planning to spend a few more months ashore. Qinghao felt Yiling favored little Shuidi too much. He needed to have a good talk with his husband. I'm a bit worried that little Shuidi depends on you too much. As parents, we need to work together on this. Little Shuidi still has me, so you can focus on your comeback without worry. You'll always have my support behind you. You and little Shuidi are what drive me in life. So the next day, Yiling dug out his gear. Looking at his beloved skin, he couldn't hold back that eager heart anymore. Yiling, lost in his own graceful moves, didn't notice the adorable little cutie watching him, totally mesmerized from the side. Suddenly he heard the sound of a walker. He turned to see little Shuidi imitating Yiling's moves, spinning in circles. Yiling was instantly smitten by little Shuidi's cuteness. Adorable little Shuidi inherited his dad's great genes. He could imitate Yiling's moves and spin in circles riding his walk. Yiling was thrilled. Our little Shubi is amazing. At such a young age, he's already so talented. When he grows up, he'll definitely be someone great. Whatever little Shuidi wants to do in the future. Yiling decided to support him unconditionally. When Qinghao got home from work, Yiling couldn't wait to have little Shuidi show dad his amazing talent. Qinghao was thrilled too, and immediately took the big one and little one out to eat. Yiling watched Qinghao taking care of little Shui. His face broke into the happiest smile. On the way home, Yiling saw a kid eating cotton candy and looked totally envious. But Qinghao immediately got it. I'll go buy some right now. After having Yiling a little Shui, the previously cold and ruthless Qinghao completely changed. He gave all his tenderness and care to the two most important people in his life. Yiling felt like the luckiest and happiest person in the whole world. Adorable little Shuidi joined a reality show with his dad. Little Shuidi started getting filmed from the moment he woke up. Our sweet little Shuidi instantly became a variety show natural. His first wobbly steps got captured on camera, just like that. His adorable little face melted the whole crew. While gushing about how cute he was, they said it'd be great to capture him giggling. Yiling thought carefully and realized he'd never actually seen little Shuidi break into a big smile. When Uncle Yuzhen came to visit little Shuidi, Qinghao asked if he'd ever seen little Shuidi giggle. Yuzhen thought back to the little Shuidi in his memory, that focused, serious little adult, watching cartoons intently. That happy little Shuidi playing with soap bubbles with his dad's. That little Shuidi being lifted high over Dad Qinghao's head. He never really giggled. But does it matter? As long as our Shuidi likes it, he does it. If not, little Shuidi is everyone's bundle of joy. Adorable little Shuidi held his dad's hands walking through the park. When he got tired, he'd reach out his little hands for Yiling to pick him up. His cute little face even attracted a dog over. When Yiling saw the white fluffy thing, memories came flooding back. He and Qinghao first met because of a white furball. Adorable, confused Yiling mistook a furball for a puppy. He jumped in the lake to save the dog and almost drowned himself. Qinghao pulled him out just in time, and then we got our adorable little Shuidi. Yiling felt his past self was so lucky. Because he met Qinghao and got adorable little Shuidi, his present self is so happy. Little Shuidi felt his dad's happiness. He reached out his little hand to touch Yiling's cheek. He suddenly broke into the most adorable charming smile. His bell, like laughter, went straight to both dads' hearts. Yiling was completely melted. Our Shuidi's first real laugh is absolutely amazing. The happiness of 1 + 1 = 3 began when I became weak. Adorable little Shuidi didn't recognize Dad Qinghao anymore. After staring at him with those little eyes for a full minute, he went right ahead and gave Dad a big little gift. It all started when Qinghao went away for training for a few days. He got home early and rushed to see his husband and kid. Of course, Yiling was surprised. A week apart, he really missed him. Suddenly, there was a noise. An adorable little Shuidi crawled out. Little Shuidi stared at Qinghao with those big cute eyes, thinking, who's this guy? He looks kind of familiar. While Yiling told little Shuidi to say hi to Dad Qinghao, a chubby little hand reached toward Qinghao. Qinghao happily leaned in closer. Next second, there was a scream. It's okay, it's okay. Little Shuidi just gave Dad Qinghao a teeny tiny gift, that's all. Adorable little Shuidi might be getting a little sister. Because lately, when Yiling played with little Shuidi, he'd often feel sudden sharp pains in his head, a chilly feeling on the back of his neck. Sometimes while cleaning the house, he'd feel dizzy. Once while holding little Shuidi to wash his hands, he almost fainted. Little Shuidi looked worriedly at his dad throwing up in the bathroom. These symptoms reminded Yiling of when he was pregnant with little Shuidi. But watching little Shuidi eat everything without being picky every day, all of Yiling's worries disappeared. Qinghao noticed his husband seemed a bit off. He actively asked if Yiling felt unwell anywhere. While little Shuidi was sound asleep, he quickly asked Yiling for some affection. Dad Qinghao is being extra cuddly today. Adorable little Shuidi inherited his dad's great genes. He could imitate Yiling's moves and spin in circles riding his walker. Yiling was thrilled. Our little Shuidi is amazing. At such a young age, he's already so talented. When he grows up, he'll definitely be someone great. Whatever little Shuidi wants to do in the future. Yiling decided to support him unconditional. When Qinghao got home from work, Yiling couldn't wait to have little Shuidi show Dad his amazing talent. Qinghao was thrilled too, and immediately took the big one and little one out to eat. Yiling watched Qinghao taking care of little Shuidi. His face broke into the happiest smile. On the way home, Yiling saw a kid eating cotton candy and looked totally envious. After having Yiling and little Shuidi, the previously cold and ruthless Qinghao completely changed. He gave all his tenderness and care to the two most important people in his life. Yiling felt like the luckiest and happiest person in the whole world. Little Shuidi was actually stopped by Dad Qinghao from seeing his other dad. It all started when Yiling returned to the ice rink for the first time. He got so excited that he fell asleep at the skating rink. Then he just up and caught a cold and got a fever. Though Yiling felt awful, he was also happy. He hoped next time to go feel the ice with Qinghao together. Qinghao could only pat his head affectionately to comfort him. We'll go together once you're better. Suddenly there was the sound of a walker outside the door. Little Shuidi shot into the room like an arrow. He reached out his little hands that seemed to be picked up. Yeling was so envious. He really wanted to hold adorable little Shuidi too. But Qinghao refused without mercy. Colds are contagious, so we need to isolate. Watching Yeling calling out from behind that dad misses Shuidi too, Qinghao's face showed a gentle smile outsiders had never seen. Little Shuidi loved playing with Dad Yeling most. But Dad Yeling really missed Dad Qinghao. So Yaling decided to take little Shuidi to pick up Qinghao from work. Dressed like an adorable little figure, little Shuidi just got surrounded like that. The people at the gym were too enthusiastic, leaving Yeling and little Shuidi overwhelmed. At the crucial moment, little angel Yuzhen appeared. He brought the father and son to the break room to explain. After the parenting show aired, everyone really liked little Shuidi. Before, everyone was scared of Qinghao and didn't dare show. So today they were a bit overly enthusiastic. Little Shuidi on the side was jumping for joy from getting a cookie. We don't get what the adults are saying. We just munch on yummy things. When Qinghao got off work, he saw his gorgeous husband and adorable son actually came. He couldn't have been happier inside. Little Shuidi got pawned off by Dad Qinghao again. It started when Yeling brought little Shuidi to watch Qinghao's competition. That adorable little face captured who knows how many hearts. Qinghao was surprised Yeling could bring Shuidi over by himself. That had to be another game where he overperformed and broke records. After the match, Qinghao immediately came to the father and son. Yeling felt today's Qinghao was a bit different. Why was he so happy his tail was spinning like a propeller? This unusual behavior clearly meant his heat period arrived. But what about little Shuidi with no one to watch him? This little thing couldn't stump Qinghao. Adorable little Shuidi just got monopolized by Uncle Yuzhen again. Watching another group of people gather around, little Shuidi gripped Yuzhen's clothes tight, wanting to be held. This move totally knocked Yuzhen out with cuteness. Kiss after kiss landed on little Shuidi's face. Little Shuidi unlocked a new skill. It left both Yiling and Qinghao stunned. On a crisp autumn day, the dads took little Shuidi out shopping. After trying on a winter hat, little Shuidi instantly became an adorable little prince. Because the parenting show showed little Shuidi likes teddy bears. The clerk pulled out a hat with little bear ears. After trying it on, Yiling was totally satisfied. Our Shuidi is so handsome. Little Shuidi was also super happy with the little bear hat, smiling nonstop. Then Yiling saw a toy in the window. He and Qinghao were on the same page. It was perfect for little Shuidi. Both dads were smitten and went into the store immediately. The clerk enthusiastically introduced this newly released walking aid. Then little Shuidi just plopped right into it. Next second, he literally took off.